Yo, what up, guys? F947 here, and we're going to be spinning the genre manga wheel. I've done this once already, the psychological manga. Check it out here. It was pretty cool. We're like 5 of them. And we're going to spin this wheel again. If you get psychological, I'll just spin it again, obviously. Or we can do 5 more psychological. Who knows? Let's see what happens, baby. Sci-fi, huh? Alright, let's go ahead and see what sci-fi is about. I'll be right back. Alright, so the first sci-fi manga we're reading today is Dandandan. It reminds me of Dorohedoro and you know, the name, so very, very wholesome and promising. And you know, let's see what we got here. I haven't read the description because there wasn't one. It just said recommended by the author Chainsaw Man, so that sounds like it's promising to begin with. Shockingly grotesque occultic battle series. Fear squirms and shudders at the unknown. Ooh, I like this panel right here. I like the panel a lot right here. I'm loving it. I'm loving it a lot. Is this our main character? Wow, that's a short skirt. So I'm about like what, a quarter way through so far. It seems like a comedy manga first to secondarily, because we start off with our main character here, and she's getting dumped by her boyfriend, who looks exactly like her type. What is her type? Men just with stoic looks to them. They have like a jawline chiseled and sharp enough to cut through butter, but that's been chilled in the freezer for 3 hours. You know, it's like that type of stuff, right? She sees this nerd and she goes, "Oh, I kind of like you. What's up?" Nerd doesn't say anything. It's very funny and wholesome so far. What else can I say about it? It looks like it's decent. I'm liking this comedic duo, man. They're so stupid. Like, this is definitely a definition of like, this chick let me smash because my autism's maxing out, you know? It's very funny. I mean, she's also autistic. I'm gonna get that wrong. Like, she knows this much about spirits and psychics and stuff, so they're on the same spectrum. She just looks the way she looks, and he looks like a literal NPC. You know what I'm saying? You can be an NPC, but if you look like one, that's a whole nother league of, you already know what I'm talking about. Oh, and the parallel is because they don't believe in this same exact superstition, one is going to this haunted hospital to get abducted by aliens, the other is going to this basically parallel of the Mob Psycho tunnel that had ghosts in there, and he's going to see if ghosts are real. And it's very funny back and forth there. And I assume either one's gonna die, the other's gonna die, they're both in superpowers, whatever, but I'm definitely interested to see how this ends. She gave this really passionate, sad, tragic story as to why she believes in ghosts, because her grandma who died recently was a psychic, you know, blah blah blah, defending her grandma. And then she asks him, "Hey, what do you think about aliens?" And then he's like, you know, it's kind of kooky. What am I looking at? Canon Jiraiya, pog. I ran into some horny old cougar. Oh my god. Nah, this panel goes hard, bro. Top 3 panel of the week. Like, no context, panel's crazy. With context, panel's crazy. Yo, they got some of the hardest panels so far, bro. What are these Freddy Fazbear Disney character knockoff rejects looking like, man? They look like the Norman SpongeBob character. What's his name? Like, is it Norman? No. SpongeBob's brother with the suit. No. Yeah, SpongeBob's brother with the suit. No. SpongeBob's brother who had like the big square head, small body, and then had like the little pocket protector. This guy. That's what they look like. Also look like cursed skinny Peter Griffin. A lot of lookalikes here. But regardless, yes, they do look creepy. 100%. Now they look like those little like wooden things you put into another one. Oh, his running animation is so goofy. Oh, she actually got abducted. Oh, this got really graphic really quickly. So are we surprised that these goofballs and buffoons are just going to be in heat at all times? And they're like, "Oh, no. The reason we're going to kidnap and abduct you and impregnate you against your will, it's not because, you know, we hate you, we have malicious intent, we actually been begging to do this 40 billion years. It's because evolutionarily, we can't evolve past our stale competition and emotional plateaus because there is no diversity amongst our species. So we have to kidnap some random woman from a different planet we don't even know of. We don't even know it's gonna be compatible with the breeder with. We have to do that, obviously, and she has to be in high school because redacted. You know, it just so happens to be that way. You know, I mean, come on, this shit's crazy, bro. Oh, this is their real form. Man, that's kind of trippy. Not gonna lie. Our precious bananas. She's like, go ahead and do it. He gets hit one more time. Okay, maybe I should quit. Bro, this is your main character shonen moment. This is your moment that you're supposed to go above and beyond and beat these Reggie Gigas knockoff clones that are mixed with Deoxys and some other formation or pattern. You're supposed to put these guys flatline, right? You're supposed to put them underneath the ship that they are in. Come on, occult boy. We could never become friends of such a brutish human as you. And furthermore, we prefer female humans over male humans. Then imagine letting the key out the top of your head with a big flash. Haha, check it out. She's doing it again. She's trying to talk to aliens or something. I don't want to do it again. Oh, wait. Oh, her name's Momo. So I was right. They do end up getting powers. Do I have precog on? Have I read this beforehand? No, shut up. Don't give me that. Ooh, looks like Starfire a little bit. You can use psychic powers? No, spooked by this too. Again, man. These are like some hard-ass panels, bro. I'm loving these panels so far. It's like, man, you know? I also think it's because of the main, what's his name, Shimpo design. I just love the stripes. Now, he's oddly shaped. He's like 10 feet tall, obviously. But, you know, I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this. Is that a Berserk reference? That Gus was fighting when he came back from his Black Swordsman Brigade and saw the blacksmith who remade his sword and saw Casca basically have the IQ of a dry bucket. Your demons, for lack of better words. Demons is just absolutely Lovecraftian manifestation of fear we can't comprehend. It's just, whoa, man. It just makes you want to just take a couple hits of DMT and then go, ah, no Cappy just like me, you know? Crazy. I have his now. As long as I have the boys, the curse won't leave him. You want it back, come to the tunnel. Place too far for me. All right. Oh man, this is so goofy. They believe in the other thing that they didn't want to believe in originally because they almost died from the thing that they didn't believe, but both were true. Isn't that fun? That's actually kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna do the whole bit of like, isn't that funny? But I actually like it's kind of funny. Wow. Wow, so this is gonna be like some romance. It has to be a Sonnen, right? They just wouldn't have that massive banana panel of her basically about to get eviscerated to the next universe, and it's a shonen. They don't do that in shonen. It's like a bit below, I mean, it's a bit above their graphic capabilities. Man, this is like some of the prettiest panels I've seen so far. Like, it's like the one-shot panels like this. It's like, oh my. And you can tell like what is going on here. It's very evocative, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, his name's Takakura Kin, which was the name of the guy who she was idolizing, crushed on all the way from the first beginning of the panel. So what do I think of Dan? Whenever I was reading it, I was going, damn, because I liked it, you know what I'm saying? It's actually quite engaging. I would say the comedy aspect is definitely more of the forefront. So if you don't like that Gintama, One Punch Man, Mob Psycho type comedy going on, then this definitely isn't for you, 100%. The designs are kind of crazy. They're more willing to be more unorthodox and abstract with the designs, and just are willing to just etch and lean on the lines of eeriness instead of like actually trying to be more coordinated and be more crisp and clean. And I feel like what that does is allow them to actually make their either main character, main cast, and main villain designs look so much cleaner in comparison. As much as I don't like One Piece's design choices overall, when their main characters, the main cast, the pirate crew, the Ennis Lobby's villains, you know, whenever they have their full flesh out, obviously minus the Logian fruit arc, obviously, with the animals, that animal design was horrible. But minus them, all the villains and all the heroes, they had flawless, almost impeccable design. Zoro, amazing. Luffy with his gears, amazing. Robin, bombastic. Robin, just phenomenal. Frankie, probably the only one that isn't really up to par with everybody else, but that's because everyone else's design is just so immaculate. It kind of like makes his kind of whatever. But my point is this, right? They have that going on for Dandandan as well, and I actually want to read more of this manga. I'm actually engaged. I'm actually into it. It didn't feel like a long 60 pages. It felt like a decently paced 60 pages, actually just scrolling on the entire time. And obviously there are some beats that are kind of predictable here and there. Like I predicted the moment that they go into each other supernatural side that they didn't believe in. Something's gonna happen, they're gonna end up blinking and have superpowers. I kind of predict that. It's kind of a vague prediction, so I can't even get credit for that, but you know me, right? But regardless though, besides that, a solid 8. I love it. I really do love it. Probably 8.1, honestly. And if there's anything that can reach this level, you know, of wit, of banter, of back and forth, non-stop comedy, even with the highly paced, highly intense, you know, just gut-wrenching agony. You know, the turns, the twists, the despair you can feel every single panel. If the next few men can meet that, then hey, you know, Dandandan's gonna be put in the past. But I love it, man. I love it, man. All right, let's move on to the next manga. Next manga, yes, it's sci-fi, called Kinnikuman. This is one of those legacy manga because this set was made in like the mid 80s and it's still being updated and written to this day on like a weekly, bi-weekly, something monthly basis. You know, obviously the author takes breaks here and there, but I want to check this out for sure because it looked like one of those manga that would like Fist and North Star would be able to help you understand why certain tropes are still prevalent to this day, what comedy was like back then for manga artists who I admire and love now were reading back then to then write the manga that they love reading now, or who their idols were reading. Basically, I'm looking at, you know, the whole meme of like, I'm your rapper's favorite rapper. I'm looking at the manga's favorite mangaka's original ancestry, just like the OGs. Because if this is still up to date even now, there has to be something that's enjoyable on any aspect. Bro, get out of here. Bro, okay. I'll say it, man. Kinnikuman, peak comedy. I read one chapter and I get it. I understand why people love this manga so much. Why it's still being made to this day. Why it's still being updated. Why it's still being talked about. Why it's still being read. It's one of the best selling manga series. Selling over 77 million copies. 77 million. And I get it though. 100%. It is actually kind of funny. The amount of meta commentary it has, you think it would get old, boring, and stale, but it uses meta commentary. Like, for example, there is a panel in here where Kinnikuman is like the only superhero to save the entire planet through like monsters and coming through to like destroy them in like an hour. The chief's like, okay, buddy, we need you to have a superpower move because you need one to at least defeat these monsters. And he's like, okay, I'll get it. And then like 4 panels, he trained it, and then it had this like stupid mock conference and stuff like that. And then they're like, it took me years to master technique. And he's like, no, it took you 4 panels. So it's like, you know, stuff like that, just casual, just like casually letting these bits off, and we got to move on to the next one immediately. Like, I feel like this pacing can only be met and matched probably comparable to what Gintama at this scale. But even then, Gintama has a pacing problem because once it has bits, it sticks with them for the entire time, or makes the bits last too little and you can't even enjoy the entire time. Whereas Kinnikuman here, it's just bang, 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 hit after hit, punch after punch. Even like the awkward punchlines and shit like that, like they acknowledge it being awkward in there, like not too much to the point where it's like the self-conscious, self-deprecating humor aspect. We're along the lines of like, yes, we needed that to be awkward to finish this one here. It's phenomenal. Like, do I know what's going on at all with this plotline? If I think about the plotline whatsoever, which, you know, funnily enough, it ends with the plotline on 16 pages in the first chapter, it's super monsters are coming to destroy Earth. All the heroes that have been able and capable to defend Earth from threats such as this are on vacation, they doing laundry, they're in the hospital, they're having liaisons with their other superheroes. And the only guy left is Kinnikuman, like the worst superhero of all time. If we had a rating for him, like a game with him, he'd be like a 33 overall, which is the worst rating of all time. So they go to him, and you know, he's just a goofball. And it's very hilarious, very comical, very, very goofy. Another one I would love reading. I don't know what's going on, man. Maybe the whole concept of you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, I judged 2 manga by their cover so far, hence why I picked them, and they've been phenomenal. This is he's like a 9.5. I love the hell out of this, man. I can see myself reading like 10, 20, 30 chapters like a week. I love it. It's beauty. It's definitely where and why and how a lot of these like sort of teehee, I'm so awkward comedy styles in a lot of manga, slice of life, romance even, regular shonen, san, and you know, all those goofy ass moments of comic relief and Dragon Ball Z, for example. A lot of this happens because of Kinnikuman shows like this. So, I want to keep writing this high. This is phenomenal. And again, I only read the first chapter, so I'm only gonna do that from here on out. So, all right, the next manga we're reading is World Trigger. I remember reading this one. No, watching this one actually on Netflix around 2018, 2019. And it's pretty nice. I would say a good comparison to this is Kaiju number 8, for sure. There are instances where the monsters have to lock down the entire city. And it's to the point where people know that they're monster slayers and blah blah blah. The main character is a goofball who is extremely talented, without necessarily knowing he's that talented as he is. Sometimes he does. It's a lot of commonalities here, and I feel like World Trigger is not gonna disappoint because it didn't disappoint when I last watched it. So let's see what it got in store so far. I can relate to all of this shit. Okay. Wow, so we're not even that far from the manga's inception point of basically the neighbor is what the opposing supernatural forces are. Because obviously the question you have to ask is, number one, who put this portal here in this random city that started all this to begin with? It's one of those like Chainsaw Man gun situations, right? What made the gun demon or devil just flatline like the entire world? Like 10% of the world just gone with the gun devil, right? What made that happen? This is the same question here. And the answer to that in Chainsaw Man, I don't know if I got the direct answer to that one. I mean, if anyone does know the answer to that question directly, go ahead and answer that in the comments. I have no idea what the answer to that question is. But for this, that'd be a good question here, because if everything's all peaceful for a city it's a mid-sized city, 280K, and then it just started swallowing people whole. Like, look at this demonic beast here. It looks like a little cute little bullworm, but hey, look at that power button of a throat back there. Oh my god, you say you're the throat goat? Look at this guy. He's all throat. That's crazy. Is that their eyeball? I'm seeing this angle here. That's their eyeball. Very good question to answer. Also, I want to see their designs. I feel like their designs is probably like the most important part of this entire manga, since they are the reason why this all started. There's no like interstellar civil war. There's no betrayal. There's none of that stuff, because we're watching all of it happen live, because it's the beginning of it all. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen that before. Actually, never seen a story start at the beginning of its history. Or at least so close to the beginning of its history that it's just basically at the beginning anyway. Right? I've never seen it before. How close we can get to it is here. Now, obviously, there's some other stories that, like, for example, first thing that's coming to mind is Berserk, where it starts in the Golden Age arc and beginning explaining everything and how curse marks exist and yada, yada, yada. But the only issue with that is we are given Guts and basically one of his 3 peak forms, because he has like multiple peak forms for some reason. One of his 3 peak forms, and he's already like early mid-20s. So there is a present day that we aren't necessarily being in. Whereas this right here, if we were to just start with what caused this, or starting the story here, then that's what I'm saying. Is this a random tangent? Yes, but my point is I'm kind of hooked, so. Because those bullworms got big old throat. Oh, it's called Border. The defense agency is called Border. Okay. Wow, this guy looks like an alien. Surely he isn't. He's a regular human being, right? Hey, it's a giraffe rig tail. Wow. Insert image of giraffe. Do you think we would care reading the writings on the board? True. I don't read either. Reading isn't base. Hey, it's the bullworm baby with the eyeball in his mouth. If I remember correctly, this man's like a D- ranking officer in the Border agency, and he has to either grind his way up to the top or hold on to the coattails of our boy Kuga over here. His name Kuga, right? It's a little pretty panel right here. This man's name is Osamu. Man, don't let Yeet know that this man's name is Osamu. World Trigger. So, I like it, obviously. It has one of the tropes that I mentioned in a sports manga I was reading, where we have someone with a work ethic, Kobe Bean Bryant, but the skills of a PG Tucker, right? Or PJ Tucker. It's not all there. However, their work ethic is enough for them to push forward. Now, I'm not going off memory, just solely going off what I read from this panel. This chapter itself is 48 pages. I would say the build-up was decent. You know, you have our boy Osamu getting bullied relentlessly for trying to be an upstanding citizen. Him being like the outcast, but little do they know, he has a secret life. What is that secret life? Being the janitor for the agency that's defending the entire nation. You know, that type of stuff. We have here this secret transfer student who is league stronger than him. Basically like a Saitama and Genos comparison here, right? Where Genos always gets beats up, Genos always is a butt of a joke, and Genos looks like he should be about that life, but he really isn't. Whereas Saitama, you know, doesn't really care, very lackadaisical, very flippant with everything he says, but has the power to back it up. The only flaw that our boy here, Kuga, has is that he's sort of being one of those types of personalities where, again, I don't know why autism like a main character stay of like all these manga, but he can't understand simple. Everything is black and white to him, right? For example, when Osamu went out of his way to try to protect Kuga, even though he had no chance of protecting him from the bullies that were going to beat up Kuga in the Forsaken Naver territory, he didn't really feel for Osamu. He was like, why'd you come here in the first place, man? You're supposed to run away if there's a threat that you can't handle in front of you. He's unable to understand that. He's also unable to understand, either purposely or not, just very simple things such as, you know, the school dynamics. And this has a lot to do with the fact that he isn't a part of this world, but instead he's a part of the world that the Naver came from. Again, the same Naver that invaded this of Mikadoshi in the first place. So we have the straight man and the nonstop comedic bit going on here, like back and forth, nonstop, relentlessly. And one line here that Osamu does have to prove that he's a straight man, along with his bland, boring glasses design, is he said, "Oh, I know I was getting beaten up relentlessly, and I was getting my nose pummeled in, and I know I was getting my liver just smashed into another organ, but I can't use my powers. That's against school policy." Like, that's a nerdy response. Why are you getting yourself into a situation where you're gonna get like your entire appendix bursted from centrifugal force of someone's foot if you're not gonna be able to defend yourself? Because you know you can't defend yourself. Because you know you suck. Like, why would you do that? And he's very cognizant of his lack of skill. Now, obviously, the question you have to ask before, without any foreknowledge, is how the hell did he even get to become an officer in the first place if he is so bad at defending himself from like high school bullies? Like, how is he gonna fight monsters if he can't even touch high school bullies? You know, when does he turn on that dog in him? When does that dog come out the kennel and start barking, start biting, you know? I don't know. In this first panel, I don't know. I know the real answer, obviously. I'm vaguely getting memories of what happened when I saw the Netflix series. But currently right now, he looks like a flimsy, weak, flippant, flaccid, irreverent character. To be paired up against this ecstatic, erratic, impulsive, bombastic character in Kuga. So I'll give this 7.5. From the first panel alone. Again, from what I remember, I would rate it like an 8, but from this first panel alone, 7.5. It could be a bit longer. They could go more into detail about how or why the Naver is so powerful instead of like just gobbling up regular humans. Because we don't know how powerful Kuga really is by just knocking out this Naver that, let's be honest, Osamu couldn't even touch, right? Osamu, like, he scratched the Naver, but it wasn't enough for the Naver to feel it. So we don't know how strong Kuga is. Even though they're insinuating that he's like one of the strongest ones, he has like this different designed gear that all officers from the border has, etc., etc., etc. So like, there's like a lot more questions that are left unanswered that kind of make wanting to invest yourself into this manga a bit tricky, I guess. But I would say, no, I'll give it a 7. I would say definitely, probably recommend this, maybe, I don't know. Also, the designs aren't that bad. They aren't that bad. I'll give them like a 6. But overall, manga, first chapter, decent 7. All right, next manga I'm reading is Spriggan. I have seen this in like people's like recommendation list. It looks like a Yu Hakusho, Kengan Ashura, Sunken Rock type of manga here. Very gritty, superpower focus. This is a sci-fi. I assume it's going to be very science fiction. Yeah, let's see what Spriggan got in store for us. Let's go, baby. Oh my god, that's so many words. Oh, reminds me of that one kind of racist manga, Terraformers. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling. I say kind of racist because like all the roaches just like a bunch of black dudes, like a bunch of NBA players on like steroids. So there was an ancient civilization with a warning of like, hey, evil bad, don't forget us. And the world was like, okay, deal. And they decided to keep anybody from his lineage sacred or protected them in a museum type aspect. Like, I have no idea what I'm talking about here. Oh, it's a sort of a Gomorrah reference. Fire and brimstone were sent down from heaven to completely annihilate these cities and the people who... What's funny about Sodom and Gomorrah? I do find it funny how like people interpret it as like Gay people cringe. They deserve to die. Kill them now. But in reality, what happened was God, the all-seeing, almighty, omnipotent God, created a city that he couldn't control. They were committing tax fraud. They were committing acts of sexual deviance. Literal. They were committing arson, committing murder, gambling, aggravated assault, vehicular manslaughter, drunk driving, drunk walking, cocaine throughout many orifices that aren't colloquially ordained as a useful orifice for cocaine. Like it's every sin under the book. But the reason why homosexuality is like the main thing they remember, or people remember who read the book or proselytize about Sodom and Gomorrah, was because the main plot point for that city was an angel sent down there to warn a family that, hey, God sent a nuke ready to blow up on the city. You have to leave. And then they got raided by members of the city who wanted to have sex with this non-binary androgynous angel. And then the family member was like, hey, you know what? Take my daughter, bro. Don't do this. And then the criminals like, hey, no, we ain't come over here for some girl booty. We want that angel butt. So it was very fun. Major Hummingbird. Can you come up with some better names, please? Or is he supposed to be some immaterial side character? We can't even detect any error using this laser measurement system. What does that mean? Does that mean it's a perfect, flawless sphere? So the sphere of unknown proportions just lands in their laps, and they're like, oh, we can't find the errors, nerds. And this guy's gleaming at it with ghoulish intent. Look how awful. This is some Redditor energy right here, dude. Average Redditor when they find an underage girl in the library without their parents. But like, what were they expecting? If it's lasted thousands of years and just absorbs energy like some Jinjuriki, 10 tails, god, chakra fruit, whatever, were they expecting it just to remain docile after doing all this testing? What were they doing? Like, why are scientists so stupid? Ooh, some map of the globe. Uh-oh. This is the will of the Lord. I will eliminate any and all who try to defy the actions of the Lord. Oh wow, this guy's schizo-posing. He saw the orb of infinite energy that was wielding the flame of God, according to them, light up a hologram, point to Japan, and said, I'm gonna kill you guys. Even though he's also in Japan, so wouldn't that technically mean he's also the one that's sinning? So he's just not free from sin? Activated a Megiddo flame. This is my first job, and this is what happens, a Megiddo flame. So the skies and constellations just had their cheeks spread wide open like a prostate exam. Oh, so it's a part of the artifact that burns Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Oh, I thought he was shaking nervously, but no, he seems like he is a trained soldier of special agents. And if this is his first job during the Spriggan ranks? Or is this his first job as a Spriggan agent? Or is this his first job just in general? Let me see what his skill ceiling is after this next panel. It might be his first job ever. He's overestimated the jumping capabilities. So this man basically got one of those Gantz power suits that react accordingly to your muscles and nerves. And it makes him Superman, basically. But the problem is, it's so fine-tuned to his synapses that he can overshoot it by accident. Is the headband necessary? Because it kind of looks messy compared to the rest of the suit. Like it makes his forehead look massive, right? Because if you think about the proportions, if his hairline starts anywhere from here, all this is forehead. What do we do? Unless he is like the Giga Caveman, his hairline starts right here, like above his eyebrow. So they already know about the Spriggan agents. Wildly schizo. So this is to be a trial given to me by God, huh? Bro. What's funny, given that this is like a mango super muscle suits like this, well then again, are these muscle suits that far away from actual proof of technology? Because any technology we know that exists from our government, our defense departments, are only technologies that have been declassified like 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're nothing up-to-date tech, because if it was, then the enemy of whatever nation you're a part of could just counter that technology. And they're not classified technology counter. So. True, how the hell are they famous, but they're supposed to be like some special agency? He's like, are you supposed to be a part of this like special agent force that's supposed to defend the legacy of the Spriggans? Well, you're alive when young and stupid and dumb, and therefore I'd big. Oh, damn, shouty? What is that mischievous face? Is she doing this on purpose? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is that face, bro? That face is crazy. Oh, they're trying to like logically explain how God burned Sodom and Gomorrah. And what they're basically saying is an intergalactic super sniper precision shot through solar power and precise coordinates. Hey man, I'm not a military weapons guy, but kind of base, not gonna lie. A supernova sniper shot. It's no joke. Oh, so this humming bat is a notorious. Okay, now this is very important for power scaling purposes. If they make him too powerful, then every villain afterwards will have to be such a threat that it can't even be comprehended by human comprehension. So this is very important now. The most spearmen men involve the U.S. machiners and machinist platoon. The majority of those who have gone up against him have died strange deaths because he destroys their cranial nerves. How does he destroy their cranial nerves? If he physically does it, like he beats them up, then that's fine. That's very easily to be scaled upon. You can just make people have regular superpowers, and then you can go intergalactic, intercontinental. I know I switched it between the scaling there, but you get my point here. Because if he's already using like what is deemed as the most dangerous superpower of all time in the first chapter, and he's not the main villain, we have some power scaling problems already off the bat. So this is very crucial. Damn, this chick keeps roasting him for no reason. Of course, the name's Sakura. Of course. Does he know does Spriggan intel weakness like some water? Why would he use water? Or does it help his powers? What is this? Well, hey. That's a funny meta commentary. They know Hummingbat's a dumbass name. That is adorable. I like that. Oh. So when he wait. So his whole story is that during a secret covert mission, he got basically near-death experience. And he had to be mechanically put back together like a Toy Story potato doll. And now he has the ability after surgery to basically use a sound wave that will render anyone basically paralyzed, for lack of better words, because it's going to be so shocking to hear this hyper wave noise that you're rendered useless, and it overloads your brain center, right? And the only way you can defeat it is by going to him and just clapping his ass up. But you can't do that because the closer you get, the stronger the sound wave gets. How did he get access to this when he was... What kind of surgeon did he go to? He just gave him this ability to do this? And also, since he's in tune with the medigo flames, he gets his powers amplified. Let me read that again. Hold on. Oh, he's a preacher? Oh, obviously he's schizophrenic, obviously. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This panel's a little hard. He looks like he has a stand of himself. I don't know why the bigger version is more high quality than... Always a transition, always getting closer to him. It's not like it's like a stand of himself, like showing impact, like how strong it is zoomed in, but it's him actually getting closer to Hummingbat. I figured you tuned your ultrasonic waves to damage cranial nerves, so if the frequency changed, the effect will be diminished. We're not gonna explain how he got these powers from the surgery? What surgery does this? Oh, was the researcher villain all along? Well, she's not some regular ass researcher. Oh no, yes she is. She just like maced him basically, and she's taking the medigo flame. Yeah, of course it wouldn't be that easy. Does she not understand how powerful this orb is? She has to, right? She's been like browsing 4chan boards. She's been browsing the dark web to understand more about military tech, understand who the Spriggan are in the first place, understand why Hummingbat's so feared. Yet she's just casually just carrying this basically nuke button here. I know I keep comparing everything to nukes, so I should probably expend my repertoire of comparisons towards interstellar weaponry or stellar weaponry. Let me see. Why is she carrying basically the amplifier of everybody's powers in this car? It's like the equivalent of, I know, power scaling wise, not even close, carrying the Shikon jewel orb itself on you at all times. When if anybody touches it, it'll manifest and quadruple or exponentially magnify their powers. So of course you're gonna go after it, obviously. His name is Omine? Okay. This always happens. This always happens. I'm just used to this trope at this point. It's like, man, I'm so glad that impossible mission got over. I just got home in time for school. I couldn't even sleep. Oh, what is that? Oh. Is that the woman that almost caused me to fail my mission? Go like it's every time. It's every time. All right, that's Spriggan. Woo! Thoughts on Spriggan? Damn, I hate to be this guy, but I like it. I actually like it. What do I have to say about it? It wasn't too reliant on following the principles of Sodom and Gomorrah to the point where it's a stickler on every single detail. It uses it as a reference point to make you understand the scale of how dangerous weapons can be if they're followed to the T. If things were just, canonically line one to one, and how the sun and constellations and the sky was about to line up perfectly to beam Tokyo off the plan of the map. That was interesting. Also showing exactly pinpoint coordinates, like it's like a predator missile. Also very interesting. I do like that concept, I like that aspect. Also like the potential of what could be either more muscle suit individuals in this series or people having superpowers. Because apparently we don't understand why Hummingbird had that ability to create ultrasonic waves, but he did. And he basically was like a top tier serial killer, for lack of better words, because you don't just become a soldier and are a threat, as our girl here was explaining. I don't know what her name was. High school girl here was explaining, but he had some menacing aura to him. But at the same time, he was still able to, be recently power scaled, so it's actually believable for people to get stronger in the series. So something to pay attention to for sure. And you know what? Hey, I actually enjoyed this. I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed Omine's naivete. I enjoyed his ability to not fully grasp this new suit he just learned how to use like a week ago, something like that. So it makes it understandable that he can get better, get stronger, get faster, get more creative, more experience of his life. And it actually showed that the treasure hunter here, her name is Yoshino, showed that Yoshino is basically meta commentarying on the fact that you're a newbie, you're supposed to be this genetically bred different species that has been protected like the chosen people for millennia, yet you can barely walk through a facility of regular security guards. Like Omega will get wrecked, you're not even that special. I do love that. That's very fun to me. Giving this a solid 8 again. I'm gonna give this another 8. I love it. I love it a lot. Highly recommended. Downsides? Are there that many downsides? Well, I guess explaining the origin of Hummingbat's powers for sure would probably give me like a 9. Because then I can be like, oh, so that's why he has superpowers. So then I can know what's going to happen for the future, But other than that, I could push this to a 9. But no, that would mean it's comparable to Kinnikuman in terms of quality. And I'm not making an argument whatsoever. But it is in the realm of Dandandan, so 8, it fits. 8 fits, And I would say also better than World Trigger. Yeah, I would make that argument. This is better than World Trigger, easily. While some panels here and there are a bit rough, they're not too bad in terms of quality wise. So I'm down for it. I'm definitely interested in reading more of this for sure. And yeah, that was Spriggan. All right, next in the final manga. All right. No Guns Life. This looks like the Gun Devil from Chainsaw Man. So I hope it's promising. Let's read it, baby. So he can talk. Off the bat, I don't know how this is anatomically possible. He's just an anthropomorphic gun. Where is his mouth? You know what? I don't have any more questions. Let's just go. Okay, so I don't know if this is a comedy bit or not, but it might be, given this panel of him blushing when he gets kissed by his client. But apparently, Inui is a literal gun. And the rumor is he can get his trigger pulled. He can get triggered, which sounds extremely sexual, like an innuendo since he's a gunman or a man gun, whatever. It only gets pulled when he accepts someone. Either he loves someone, but his whole panel of "I will accept no one" is sort of meant to be like, no one can ever pull my trigger or trigger me or get me to reveal myself. But by the way, what does this even do? Because I assume if this is an anthropomorphic gun, wouldn't pulling the trigger literally mean killing him? Yo, this dude is a hornball. He just sees bitches and just starts like doing the whole goofy animated like the little woohoo, the whistling shit. Wait, so this isn't a bit. He's that. Wait. So, are you telling me that this might not be a bit, and he actually is like, he is a literal loaded gun? Like his head is. Okay, sure. If you're here for something, I suggest you start over from ringing the doorbell. Dude, this angle looks so fucking weird. It looks like I can't get over this angle. It's a big gun in a jacket looking down at somebody. Oh, he did the little like crass standoffish bad guy thing, but it actually is a really good guy underneath. I'll help you, since you have to pay for the destruction of my office anyway. This is very extremely detailed and very insular. I'm looking for what this manga looks like. It has all of the build up and action of, again, a Sunken Rock, which I didn't compare it to, but I'm getting Sunken Rock vibes very heavily, which basically means it's gonna be fight every single page. Basically gonna mean like betrayal, political downfall, you know, country ending threats. Is that even a phrase? What did I just say? Whatever. This seems extremely well thought out, and it's supposed to hook you in for multiple chapters. I'm liking this so far, you know? The designs are very straightforward, they're very crisp, they're very clean, they're very thorough. And the very vague threats of upper management coming to clap up the gunman, I'm liking it. I'm actually, what started out as like a very goofy ass, like, bro, he's just Jotaro Kujo with a gun on his head, turned out to be like something I'm actually interested in. Okay. And there's like secondary lines of backstory you don't know anything about. This dude said, I'm gonna trust you for making fun of me looking like a gunhead because some other suspicious dudes came looking for you. And so if they're more suspicious than you are, and I don't even know who you are, you don't see much of a threat, then they must be the bigger threat, since they clearly have agents wrapped around my building who want to frame me for something. You know, if they're willing to frame me to kidnap you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wonderful. It's building up to being 8.5, let's put it that way. Given that our boy Gunman here literally just said that nuns could be anywhere from literal nuns and extend or mafia member, I don't trust this bitch popping out of nowhere when Gunman is trying to hide this kid he just got a contract for. So already off the bat, horrific start for this woman. Exactly, great point. That is funny. A little bit of Reddit atheist here. You believe in God, yet this kid had to be kidnapped and tortured. Curious. And also him, okay, this is a bit self-deprecating right here, but it's very fitting given his character, like this hard ass, unself-aware Reddit atheist. A simple sister who's not frightened by my face, that alone is very suspicious. Hey man, you know, precog over here. I'm predicting plot lines before they even exist, baby. You want the Baruins. All the Barumen became the government military because it obtained so much of the government military due to its power and force and ability to make extents. Call me nostalgic dumb fuck, but I've always loved this angle. I think Soul Eater and Fullmetal Alchemist have started it, or at least made it popular. Of like their whole face is covered except the eye part, with the eye just like a solid beam of light of menacing aura. D. Grimman does this a lot too. It's kind of lazy, I'm gonna be honest, but like it's supposed to show like this means business, scary. It conveys it perfectly. It cranks it up a level, you know? Okay, this is his lore. He's getting his lore explained to him by the chick nun who's trying to kill him, who got her extend power and visual prowess. Now, are guns supposed to be like the main manifestation of how the powers are utilized, or is it just like a coincidence that this gun chick is fighting this gun man? I would say, in what their terms of when magnums were peak technology, he was made to be used as a weapon. So he could be like an immortal being, or he could be like a couple decades old. I don't know. Whatever. This chick referring to him as an antique implies that either there have been other models of him being made to exist as a weapon to be used as a literal weapon, and then someone else supposed to be his handler, like a stand, lack of better words, or she's just doing gun puns because he's a gun man, or man gun. A man that is a gun. Because I want to say a gun that's a man, but no. His whole persona is that he's a gun anthropomorphized. Oh, he's a man gun. That's how it works, right? Because a gunman is a man with a gun, but a man gun is a man that's a gun. Why is this so horny, man? Why, dude? Why are all these mangas so horny? Like, you can't sit there and tell me this isn't like one of the horniest panels in this manga so far. We got this man who is fully clothed. He takes one menacing aura JoJo pose. Now I can see every single blood vessel in his body, every single muscle striation. He's wearing loose clothing. What the hell? Oh, it's the guy from earlier. Oh, so he got pushed off the edge. Now he's helping him, but the chick's behind him. Homie got blasted. Jesus. So is our man gun here some rogue, deficient experiment product? Is this like some sort of Sekiro aspect where like our kid here has like the ability to become some ascendant being, but the corruption he's supposed to be made of? I don't know about Sekiro, sorry. I just remember like the very first part. No, man gun! No, man gun! Wow, 8.5. I was right. I'm giving No Gun's Life of the man gun, the man who's a gun, an 8.5. It looked goofy. It started a bit goofy. It had him blushing as a gun. It has him as an angle of him looking like someone's holding a gun to a man that's a big comical gun, but it's just him. I assume he's like 7 feet, 6 feet tall, right? Overall, what do I think? Hey, you know what? It makes our main guy here pretty vulnerable. We understand the scale and scope of how powerful the agency that made him is. And I have a lot of questions. Some of them have been answered, but not in a way that fully exposed the entire plot and makes me just want to give up. So again, 8.5, solid, love it. Couldn't recommend it anymore. And yeah, that was sci-fi manga. Would this be sci-fi? This will be more... Yeah, I guess it'll be sci-fi. I do want to find out more if the gun aspect of any of the extends that have been physically modified to be created, either are they weapons manifesting themselves, but they can't be because the one extend that was given the mission to protect Tetsuru by Inui here wasn't a gun. So I actually want to see more of what their power scaling looks like, more of what their power system in general looks like, because like, I'm actually curious. Also, I know Inui here isn't dead, but how much damage did that agent do? Hey, baby! Another manga that I love. Hey, sci-fi might be the most broad, goated genre out there. I'm not even lying. It's crazy how we just got basically non-stop bangers. All right, guys, that's it for me so far. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're watching, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below, you know, and let me know what I should do next, what I should read, this, that, and the third, man. Hit me up. All right.